Morning. Okay, let's talk about the first thing real quick. I'm gonna screen share this to make sure our numbers are accurate real quick. Let me get to my screen share. All right, can you guys see the numbers?
No, yeah.
Okay, do me a favor, just take a look at your numbers across the board from Brad all the way down to Fashawn. Make sure that your number is accurate. Just take a look. And then what I also want you to recognize is how far you have to go to hit your goal. And some of you've got to stretch to get there. You got 6 days, but I've got a couple ideas that I think may help you guys out. But I want to make sure, what? Oh, anyways, I want to make sure, sorry about that, guys. I had someone recording. I'm going to pop this off real quick. Okay. So I want to tell you something we're going to introduce. I want you to visualize something for a second. I want you to imagine you guys are driving to Atlanta, Georgia, and you are sitting in traffic, right? You're sitting in traffic, but to the left of you is what they call that fast lane. People have a fast pass and they're zooming right by you, but you're stuck in this traffic. And my question to you is, would you pay a little bit more to get in that fast lane to avoid this traffic every time you're going through Atlanta, Georgia, or every time you're traveling? Would you pay a little extra money to be able to get through it more efficiently, effectively, and quickly? Now, obviously, I think, I can see some heads nodding, but I want you to understand something with that analogy. Our customers are going through the same experience when they buy a car from us. We all know it takes 4 hours to buy a car, right? But it doesn't necessarily take 4 hours. When I was at World Toyota running that store, we had a huge campaign. It was called the 60-minute delivery. I'm going to bring that to Ross's attention. I think that is a little advanced, but when we can get that done and we can put things in place, guys, I'm telling you, the customer experience, what they experience every single day, is the key to getting retention. It's the key to getting referrals. When you have a great experience with somebody and you're like, hey, you got to go see Louie. I mean, this guy will take care of you, man. I can't believe how fast, how quick the whole process was. Minimal back and forth. It was an amazing experience. And that word of mouth starts to travel. That beats beating the phones every day, calling others to get deals versus people calling you to get deals. So I just want to recognize that for a moment, because I'm going to introduce that to Ross. But I want to make sure you guys conceptually understand how powerful it is that every single time you're building a relationship with a customer, you end up selling them a car. What I'm going to talk about here towards the very end is, what are we doing to retain that customer? Because we're working on service to sales. We're working on data mining, orphan owners. We're working on all these areas, social media posting, to get people to call us. But you've got a resource of people that's in front of you every single day with the customers you've already sold. The reality is you got no game plan to put those together. And again, you guys have heard the adage. I mean, most people don't plan to fail. They just don't put a plan together. So if you don't have a plan to execute, which is what we're talking about here on a daily basis, on how we can put more things together, we got to put a plan together. Look, what does it say? The idle mind is the what? Right? It's the devil's workshop, right? The idle mind's the devil's work. So if you look at your calendar today and you've got a bunch of blank space, in other words, you come to work and wing it, you figure it out as you go. Obviously, you're not as successful as you're going to be had you already had a plan in place. So it's important to realize that. So we only meet every 2 weeks. So I want to recap something just to make sure we're on the same page. You guys can see I put on the board. I want to just go through this rather quickly because it's just the sales process, and I know you're familiar with it, but I want you to identify, are there pieces that you're actually missing? So in the meet and greet, remember we talked about in the meet and greet, the goal of the meet and greet is to get the customer back inside the dealership so we can do a proper needs assessment. The reason why that needs assessment is vastly important for various different reasons, which I'll cover here in a second. But I want you to recognize we got a script. We got a script, right? We got a script to get the customer in the dealership, right? Based on what you've shared with me, I've got some phenomenal options for you, okay? Follow me. And we take them into the dealership, right? Once we do the needs assessment, we've got another script that we've got to learn, right? And that is, so I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople make. Would you do me a favor? Share with me how you would like to buy your next car. That way I can better serve you. The goal is to get the consumer communicating to you versus you interrogating them with typical qualifying questions. We want to try to avoid that if we can. Let them share with you what the hot buttons are, what's important to them, the reasons why they're there. Again, once we set the tone with that, the EMI, we've got to get an early manager intro. Let me ask you guys a question. How is that going with the managers as far as getting an early manager intro?
Good. Good.
It's going good. And so again, and I'll talk to the guys, but let's remind each other, the whole goal of the early manager intro is to handle the price objective on a lot for you, right? Thank you for coming in. I see you're working with Maya. She's one of our best. Fantastic. What are you here to look at? Oh man, Armada's a great vehicle. Love to know how it drives. And by the way, it's our store stated policy. Before you go home, we want to make sure we give you a proposal, give you all the information you need to make a well-informed decision, whether that's 2 days, 2 hours, or 2 months from now. We want to be able to do that for you. And I'm the guy that does that. We need to make sure that happens, guys, because the more you can focus on the right car and the less communication on numbers, the higher the pencil we can serve to the customer without them already telling you kind of where they need to be. It's going to come up, but again, we want to eliminate that. The other thing that I think we didn't cover in detail, but in this needs assessment process, we want to grab keys to the trade-in twofold. 2 reasons. Number one, it's a commitment. If a customer just meets me and I'm doing a needs assessment and I've talked to him for 10 or 15 minutes and I say, again, here's another script. It's in the sales to CEO. It's our store stated policy that we're efficient with our customers. You know what, Brad, you know what we do is we survey our customers, and the 2 things they don't like more than anything in the car buying process is to go back and forth and to be at a car dealership 3-4 hours. So what I love to do is we'd love to give you a proposal before you leave. We're going to go drive the Armada. I'd love to get your vehicle appraised while we're doing that. So when we come back, we'll have that already assessed for you. In worst case scenario, give you a free Carfax, free appraisal, and have that part handled. Sound fair enough? Can I get your keys? And we want to grab keys. Now, again, remember, if someone's giving you keys to an appraisal and it's in the needs assessment, they've got a pretty high level of interest in doing some business. If they tell you no, no big deal. Oh, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to do that. No problem. Again, it's just our store's policy to just do things effectively as we can so a customer's not here for 3 or 4 hours. No big deal. And then you keep it moving. All right. So once we grab the keys, then we want to touch the desk. It's not that I don't think you know what the inventory is, but we want to include the desk and what's going on. Hey, here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I got. You got your needs assessment sheet. You're kind of going through it together. He's asking you questions. You're answering them. You're giving him information. And now the key is when you go to select a vehicle for a customer, remember, if I show you 1 car, it's a yes or a no. If I show you 2 cars, it's this one or this one. So remember, we've got another script as it relates to the selection process. Model up, model down. And I'll hit you with that in just 1 second. So we select our vehicle. Now we've got a couple of different options. Let's say the guy's on a brand new Altima, but we may want to show he's looking for an SV based on your qualification and your needs assessment. You're thinking an SV is going to work fine. He's even thinking an SV is going to work fine. I may want to show him an SR, and I may want to show him an S model. Here's how that goes. Again, I don't care which way he goes. Listen to what I'm trying to do. I say to the customer, hey, Joe, I know you said earlier, based on the criteria, that SV is probably going to work perfect. Can I make a suggestion? Sure, what's the suggestion? Well, we could go 2 different ways. We could actually go up to the SR. You could get this, and this more equipment. It's only going to cost you $3 to $4 grand, or $80 or $90 to $120 more a month. Or we actually can go to the S model, and you could save $2 to $3 grand and save you $60 to $90 in payment. Would you rather stay on the SV, or would you rather go up, or maybe look at the model down? Did you guys understand what I just did? You tracking with me? Okay, so look, here's the deal. It doesn't matter to me what he says. What I want him to hear, remember, it's not what you say, it's what they hear. What I want him to hear is, if you want to spend more, it's going to cost you X, $2 to $3 grand, 60 to 90. If you want to save $2 to $3 grand, it's going to cost you 60 to 90 to save a couple grand, or we can stay on the one you want. Because here's what I know. When we get back inside and we negotiate the deal's always going to be too high. So if we stay on the SV and he says, hey, man, we're $50 away in payment, man, I'll tell you what, I can see where you're coming from. Remember when we first met, we're talking about now offering the switch model, going back to the S. He's already got a frame of reference. We've already talked about that early in the game. He may turn you down again, but you let him know, I've got a way to save you $2 to $3 grand. All we got to do is get the S model, and you don't get, Apple CarPlay or whatever the options are with the S to SV. All right. So that's the value. Now, we're talking about the sales process, and I know you guys know this. What I'm sharing with you, what I want you to recognize is every customer, every time, without fail, no exceptions. Are we doing the solid meet and greet? Are we transitioning into the dealership? Are we asking the qualifying opening statement to get them to start sharing the information so we can fill out that properly? Are we getting the EMI? Are we able to get keys to appraise the car early? Are we touching the desk? Are we getting 1, 2, maybe 3 cars to actually show them options? Are we delivering that before we actually land on a car and drive it? And the reason why I'm saying this is because you can sell a car every day in Enterprise, Georgia, and not do anything of what I just told you. We know that. And for that reason, that's what concerns me, because I know from experience that if we can get these steps done, we're going to maximize the deal. We're going to maximize the opportunity to sell someone a car, maximize the gross in that deal. So that's important. So we're done demoing the car. We're done presenting the car. And now our goal is to not work at Six Flags, right, and take rides all day. Our goal is to get to the proposal. We got to get to a write-up. Hell or high water, we got to find a way to get to the write-up. So when we trial close, like I shared with you guys when I was there, the typical trial close is if I can get the terms and figures agreeable, would you buy and own the car today? I like to stay away from that because I want to assume everyone's there to buy a car. And if the guy tells me no, now I'm stuck, right? So I'm assuming everyone's buying a car. So what I want to trial close on is I want to trial close on the car. And that simply just goes, hey, listen, I know we've driven the car. Can I ask you a quick question? Does this car fit your needs and meet every expectation you had of a car? So let's say if you were going to buy a car 2-3 months from now or 2-3 weeks from now, is this the perfect car for you? And once he says yes or acknowledges it is, then we say, fantastic. What I'd love to do is, again, you met Louie earlier. I'd love to give you a proposal to take home with you. It takes 5 minutes to make sure you got all the information. We've appraised your car just to kind of see what it looks like financially. Follow me. We take them back in the store and we're going for the write-up. 100% of the time, we want to get that write-up. Okay. Does anybody in the room know the pre-write-up script? The pre-write-up script. Now, remember, what I'm about to share with you, you've heard it from me before. You don't have to do it to sell a car, but listen to what I'm trying to share with you guys. This process is not difficult. This is a sales process that you guys already know. All we're doing is tweaking a few things. Once you've tweaked it, you've got it memorized, you know it, you understand it. The bottom line is, before I go get a figure, I want to make sure that I can maximize the deal. So I simply just say, hey, listen, John, I just want to make sure that for some reason, look, we're going to put the numbers that it's going to work in your favor. But if for some reason they don't work in your favor, are you and I on the same page that we can agree to disagree? And he's going to look at you and he's not going to understand what you're saying, which is going to lead you to an example that you've experienced personally or you've seen in the dealership, which is a truth. And that simply is, well, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I had a deal probably 2-3 months ago. Gave a guy a trade figure on his car. The guy got so mad after we spent 2 hours together like we have here. He got so mad he grabbed his keys and left out the dealership. And I had no control over what the trade is. The used car manager appraised it. And I just want to make sure in the event that a number doesn't look like it's something that you expected, can we just agree to disagree? Once he acknowledges, yeah, no problem. Absolutely. I get it. I understand. I ain't going nowhere. Then we say, fair enough. Let me go get you a proposal. I'm confident the numbers are going to work in your favor. The reason why I want to set this up is because hopefully if the desk is doing what they're doing, when we come back with the figures, we only have one shot to maximize the deal. We got one opportunity. So we want to lay all the seeds and we want to plant everything we possibly can up front to maximize that deal. Okay. Then we write up the deal and we come back and we present the numbers. And then obviously we're working on close techniques. We close the deal. After we close the deal, I want to make sure this is pieces that we didn't talk in detail. And I'm going to give you guys some PDFs to help you through it. When you think about the whole process, it's not hard, but to hit the details that I'm telling you with every customer. And again, if you're only selling 20 cars, 18 cars a month, it should be executed. But once we close the deal and do the paperwork, waiting on F&I, we want to take a service walk, guys. Listen to me. This is when we're building a relationship, and it's going to lead into the customer contact that I'm going to share with you here in a second. We take a service walk. Nothing in depth. Show them where the service department's at, where they pull in when they come in from the service department. Let them know that you'll be the liaison between them and service. You'll help them in any way, shape, or form. This is where our guys kind of write up the deal when you pull in. This is where you wait. This is the coffee, etc. Okay. Once you're done with the service walk, then we want to ask for the referral. Okay. We have not gotten into this. I'm not going to take up the time now because I'm going to create a sheet for you guys, and I want to go through that all by itself because it's important. But we're going to ask for referrals, and then we're going to do a testimonial video about their experience and put that on Facebook. Here's where people are missing the testimonial experience with the customer. Every single customer, you guys are doing a good job posting on Facebook. Here's the gold. The goal is you've got to get them to friend you. You've got to friend them. What you want to do is put that video on, you want to tag them on their wall and be on their feed so their people can see what's going on with what you got going on. Once you're a friend, then all of a sudden things that you start posting will go on another customer that you sold versus your existing friend list. So you want to make sure that you do that. Now, with the testimonial video, it's super simple. You just simply say, hey, Joe, would you do me a favor? I just like to do a video that's called Who's Up Next. All I do is ask you a couple of quick questions on your experience, and then basically ask when I post my video, just I want to know who's up next, who I can sell next. Can I take 30 seconds to do a quick video with you? Most people will not have any problem whatsoever. Get somebody to video it, okay? Do it landscape. Don't do it vertically, do it landscape. And simply the video is like, hey guys, I'm sitting here with Hunter. Hunter just bought a car from us. Hunter right here locally in Enterprise. Hunter, do me a quick favor. How was your experience buying from me? They're going to say what they're going to say. Say, fantastic. Listen, let me ask you a question. How did you hear about us? Okay, just get another question out there. They answer the question, whatever it may be. And then simply at that point, say, hey guys, my only question is who's next? If you need a vehicle or know someone in the market for a car, Hunter, thank you so much for your business. Shake his hand. And whoever's up next, all you got to do is DM me directly. I'd love to help you in any way I possibly can. Take that video, and now that's another post for you for a testimony. And again, if you're selling 16 cars, 15 cars, you should have 15, 16 testimonial videos, okay, with your customer. Again, it's a step that most people miss. When you do that, you want to friend request the customer. Say, hey, what's your handle on Facebook? Friend request them. Do me a favor, accept your request. I want to post this on your wall. Believe it or not, most people love to see themselves. Even though they act like they're embarrassed to do it, they like seeing themselves on their own wall, okay? They'll get comments. People talk about it. Now you see the comments, you can chime in, okay? And then after we do that, we want to make sure we do the intro to F&I, and then we want to deliver the car. The thing I want to tell you about the delivery of the car, as a salesperson, all of us, myself included, this is the quickest thing we want to get done with fast. But remember, last impression can be just as important as the first impression. How they feel when they leave is just as important when you first greeted them. So it's important to make sure that that last impression is extremely powerful in how you handle the delivery process. So that's a quick recap. So I would want you to identify something real quick. Meet and greet, we got a script. Needs assessment, we've got a script. When we grab keys, this is all in the sales and CEO. We've got another script. When we do model up, model down, save you $2 to $3 grand, 60 to 90 in payment, we've got a script. Trial close, not on the money, we've got a script. The pre-write-up, we've got another script. Okay, so again, in order to be able to execute what I'm sharing with you guys, you got to go into the sales and CEO, find those scripts, and make sure you practice, drill, rehearse, so you can make sure that that verbiage is coming out and it's no longer just it's not learned. Okay, so I want to transition to the law of seven. The law of seven that we talked about, and your weekly sales goals. The one piece we didn't talk about specifically was the KPI sheet of the law of seven. Now remember, my philosophy of the law of seven is everything we do is in 7 days. And what that looks like is every demo, every appointment, every service call, every video, text, email, call, every Facebook post, every write-up, every piece of the equation. I want to monitor that for that week, every 7 days. So I can have a scorecard of what are my activities that I'm doing weekly. So there's no question if my goal was 3.5 cars for the week and somehow I did a car, how the hell did I do 1 car this week? Well, it happens, right? But if you have a scorecard and you track it every 7 days, it's very clear to say, okay, here's what I missed, here's what I didn't do. And I've got that sheet for KPIs. In the interim, what I gave you guys was the 30-day commitment sheet. That's a more global KPI sheet. So I got a question for you guys. I gave you that KPI sheet, the 30 days. Are you guys using that weekly to track yourself on a daily basis? I can't hear anybody. Is it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're using it. Thumbs down. Okay. 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 So listen, so here's what I'm telling you for growth and improvement. Obviously we got to put forth the effort and the actions. I can share with you 5 new things today. I've got new things to share with you guys today, of which I'm sure you probably haven't even heard of some of them, which would be fantastic. The problem is, if we don't go back and memorize the scripts to the process, if we don't start managing the activities that we do daily, if we're not making the service calls and doing the things that we need to start working on, your numbers aren't going to change, right? For the numbers to change, the activities need to change. And remember, again, it's all stemming from your own belief or the story associated with some of these actions that have to get done. So when we look at the next piece on the 30-day commitment, I'm going to create this law of 7 for you guys. I've got a sheet, but I just want to redo it. But I can give you another PDF to keep track of, but you guys got to really start getting serious about monitoring your business if you're going to make change. Look, I don't know if you guys have heard of, his name is Al Reedy. You got another guy named Frank Cronetti. These guys, I don't know. Frank's going to sell almost 200 cars in a month. Now, he's got a team that he put together over time, but he was literally selling 85 to 100 cars himself. Again, and when we think about selling 50, 60, 70 cars a month, obviously you question, how does that happen? How does somebody actually get there? Guys, it's consistency. There's no real magic pill, right? There's just effort and attitude and monitoring your business like a business. So we can forget 60 cars and 30 cars and 40 cars right now. You know, my greatest goal is to get you guys up to 20 cars, right? And even you know, improving yourself to that capacity. So we're working on a couple of things that's driving in people. Did Ross tell you guys about the power of doing a Facebook story versus just posting on your feed?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys are starting to get action and activity. Let me give you a quick idea that I want you to close the month with. So write this down. So this is what I used to do as a dealer on Facebook. So right now we've got what, 6 days left in the month, 6 selling days, including today.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to do a Facebook countdown. So when you hit live or you hit record, hey guys, Louie down at Mitchell Nissan. Hey, we're on our countdown. 5 days left, 5 days left in a month. And whatever campaign you guys are working on with Ross, whether it's a service campaign you've unlaid, whether it's get paid to trade, or you guys have some scripting that you guys can utilize. But what you want to do is walk that down. Tomorrow, hey guys, there's only 4 days left. 4 days left in the month. Take advantage of what we got going on today. Again, DM me directly. My cell phone number is blah, blah, blah. Tell them your cell phone number. If everyone's picking up the pace and you put a sense of urgency, you can create some momentum. The other thing that, you know, and I don't know if Ross pays you guys to buy a car, but you guys can do a static ad that just says, hey, looking to buy your car. If you're interested in selling your car, DM me. That's it. Doesn't have to be a video, doesn't have to be anything. You'll be surprised how many people will start DMing you that they want to buy they want to sell their car. Well, these things turn into deals, right? So, and then the last thing you can do is you can do another static ad, get somebody to create a PDF that just says credit amnesty. Anyone with credit concerns, DM me now if you're looking for a new car, new or used car. Again, no video, no sales pitch, just literally drive traffic, drive opportunities, drive leads, and put the full court press on because you got 5 days left in the month to execute and make that happen. Okay. Okay. So let me navigate into the sold customer angle. I'm asking you guys to work the service drive. I'm asking you guys to work orphan owners. I'm asking you guys to data mine. We haven't talked about the actually sold customers that you have and what kind of game plan. So I want you to write this down because this is an actual game plan that I facilitated that I think will make a huge impact. And I'll give you the power of the numbers as soon as I'm done. So after you sell a car, okay, you can see the board. After you sell a car, we are going to contact the customer the day after. You're going to have to set this up in your organizer. Okay, but let me roll through this. This is the touch points with every customer you sold a car to. So you need to go back again as we hit Thanksgiving, and I'll share with you in a second, all the customers you sold, you now have probably 80 customers or 100 for this year that you can contact. And if you've been there for years, you got plenty. So you sell a customer today. Tomorrow, we're going to contact them the day after. 10 days later in our organizer, we're going to contact them again. Okay. Then we're going to put in our organizer every 4 months, we're going to contact them about service. We're going to contact them about service, check their miles, and just invite them back into service. Let them know you're there to help them. Listen, it's not about service or setting them up. It's about maintaining contact with a sold customer. Okay. And then we're going to send them an email and a video on these holidays. Write this down. You're going to send them an email and a video on New Year's or prior to New Year's, on the 4th of July, on Memorial Day, on Thanksgiving, and obviously before Christmas.